Actually, in telecom already 100% FDI has already been allowed, and the country has been doing very well. And lots of FDI basically come from the telecom sector. And see, FDI is not just money. Along with FDI, there's a technology, there are newer management styles, many things that come into a new country. So that way, I think every country is benefited if it gets a big share of FDI.
Also, sir, how do you view India's recent space policy reforms? What more should India be doing to become the effective player in Asia?
Yeah, I think this already, technology, the government or the department, they're always technology agnostic. It never talks of any particular technology to be brought in or not to be brought in. We are always welcoming technology because it gives a bigger choice to the consumers, which is ultimately it will be doing good only to the common users of the telecom services. So that way it's always good to have more and more choices in the market.
Okay. Also, how do you see demand growing for satellite internet in India?
It will be growing because there is a good amount of areas, mostly in the village, rural, and very distant areas where extending the normal modes of communication like optical fiber or the microwave, it is very difficult. So I think that could be, the satellite services could be an ideal replacement in those areas. And the more these satellite services are getting customized for this type of requirements, I mean the size is reducing, the cost is reducing, no extra devices may not be required in future. The simple smartphone may be sufficient to work on D2D type of services. I think it will have a wider acceptance in the Indian market as well.
Okay, just one last question. Do you see India as a future hub for the satellite manufacturing or not?
Honestly, India has eyeing in a big way to become a manufacturing nation. Call it satellite or call it any other technology. And if you see the new telecom policy 2025, which has been published very recently for the public consultation. So there we have declared that becoming a manufacturing nation, it's a mission for the Department of Telecom. The coming 5 years, I think the department aggressively will be working towards that mission.
Well, I understand that in general there is a strong wish, desire, need for satellite services, for additional satellite services in India. So it's fundamental that regulations do not create unnecessary obstacle for this need, but on the other hand, they make it possible with a streamlined licensing framework. And what it is very important, it is being raised by several participants, is that a final decision in relation to the spectrum allocation methodology is finally done and implemented.
Okay. Also, how do you see the satellite industry evolving, over the next decades, particularly with the rapid growth of mega constellations?
Well, it is clear that non-GSO systems are now coming to the market. They do not necessarily have to be mega constellations. For instance, Telesat Lightspeed is a constellation, but is not a mega one. And what I foresee for the future is a synergy between non-GSO and GSO satellite systems, and also a synergy between satellite operators and terrestrial telecommunication operators.
Okay, how Telesat see the future in India and Indian market?
So as I tried to mention during my presentation, Telesat will implement a business-to-business approach to the market, and Telesat will not sell directly to customers in India, but will work with telecommunication operators and telecommunication service providers in India to provide services, to the end customers. And we believe that this is a sustainable approach for the overall telecommunication ecosystem.
One last question: how do you see the entry of Starlink in Indian market and as a competitor?
Well, Starlink has been the first to access the market, so is progressing very quickly. But now other systems are coming to the market, including the Telesat one. And as I also mentioned in my presentation, I am convinced that there is room for more than one operator for multiple reasons. One of which is that, again, we, for instance, Telesat has a different business model which is complementary to the Starlink one.
So this is the IAFI's second India Space Policy Conference. We had one last year and this is the second one. Very, very successful. I think India has opened up the space to the private sector, and the way the policy has evolved, it is going to bring in a lot of new jobs, a lot of new investment. And we believe, just like what's happening in the US, we will have a lot of Indian companies working in the area of space and creating a lot of opportunities for everybody.
Sir, you have said that it is going to provide a lot of job opportunities. So, who are the partners who will be welcome, for the program? Who are the from the international partners and the national partners?
So there are many companies internationally which are already working in India. We all heard about SpaceX, but there is OneWeb is very actively involved, which is partly owned by Indian entrepreneurs. Then there is a Telesat, which is based in Canada. Then there is Inmarsat and Viasat, which have already been there. And from India side, ISRO has always been there. But there are many companies like LXI or Dhruva Space, which are already invested in India and have launched their own satellites.
Also, we talked about telecommunication and satellite-based systems. What do you want to speak on the program? What are the best outcomes?
So what has happened is that India has been working on a policy framework for opening the communication sector to the private, and the TRAI has given the recommendations earlier this year in May, and DOT is now trying to finalize those recommendations. These are very good recommendations. Actually, they are very pro-industry. They provide for a 4% AGR as the fees for spectrum, which is very reasonable and up to the global standards. So we believe that as soon as the DOT decides about the spectrum, there will be a lot of new investment coming, and we'll be able to connect a lot of unconnected places. Almost 500 million people are still unconnected in India, and with the help of these satellite services, particularly the NGSO services, we will be able to connect a lot of those people which are in remote areas, which are in hilly areas, plus agriculture and education and health services. These services require requirement of satellite connectivity in a very big way. So all these services will improve in a big way.
Who are the companies you are talking about? You said there are many companies that are working over this telecommunication system.
So the companies I talked about, like Telesat, OneWeb, Inmarsat, Viasat, the global companies, and then the many Indian companies as well.
So I think that the challenges, is that we have great opportunities ahead of us. This industry has been driving and thriving for the last 5 years, innovating as never before. And of course, with innovation comes disruption and comes competition. So, that is probably the challenge. But it's a good challenge to have. And GSO, as we represent 70 members across the globe in the satellite industry, our role is to bring them together, to find solutions, to represent a unique voice, so that we have a very important role to play in the broader technology ecosystem with verticals and, a great role in connecting people, connecting things all together.
Okay. Also, how do you see the satellite industry evolving over the next decade, particularly with the rapid growth of mega constellations?
I think there is a lot of hype around the mega constellation. They're not the only ones evolving. They've been a great addition to the satellite ecosystem. But I think what we are seeing is really also, a lot of innovation in non-GSOs and GSOs, so like GEO, MEO. And so we're going to see more and more competition, as I said. We're going to see more and more services with D2D, IoT satellite and other services, and an outreach that is going to be increasing for governments, citizens and enterprises.
Okay. What role does GSOA play in fostering collaboration between traditional satellite operators and the new space companies?
Well, we are partners with them. I think for us it's always a great opportunity as a global association to play with local partners. And so for us it's great to be partners there, to bring to the table the most relevant topics and ensure that we have a balanced discussion across the industry.
Okay, what outcome can we expect from this event? Because we have seen the discussion and we heard the speeches from the prominent personalities. What outcome we can expect?
Well, I think there are going to be many panels looking into this morning. The opening was more an overview. There are going to be many panels about specific topics, and what I hope is that there is a better understanding of where these space is, where the satellite industry is, what are the needs of the industry, and how we can work together with governments. What do we need to achieve full digital transformation, with the role of satellites being central as well to that.
Okay, just last question. How do you see the entry of Starlink in Indian market?
I have no comment on any entrance. For us, as long as there is fair competition, balanced competition, everything is good.
So I have been involved with the IAFI conference for a long time, and I think they are exceptionally placed in India to serve the Indian space community in general, basically. It brings out internationally the issues and also creates a uniformity within the industry as well as within the regulators around the world, in addition to the very important market, which is basically India. So it's an exceptional conference and it should be followed by many in the industry.
Yeah, we talk about the space and the telecommunication. So how do you see the whole satellite system we are discussing here?
So there are several things. There's geostationary satellite systems, and there's the new technology, innovative technologies. Okay, the GSO technologies are basically well seasoned. Regulations are in place. They've been there for a long time. Although I may say that in the innovation, in the growth of the space industry, it still requires similar, let's say, innovative solutions as the non-GSO. So non-GSO is coming now. As I said in my presentation, we've been ready basically for the past 2 years to provide services in India. We're just waiting for the final touches of the regulations, which are actually very important. They are innovative, and I think the whole industry will actually benefit from those regulations.
Also, how do you see the satellite industry evolving over the next decade, particularly with the rapid growth of mega constellations?
So are you talking about India or in general globally around the world? In general, basically, we are already been around for the past 10 years, okay? OneWeb is, in fact, was the leader and the first non-GSO constellation to be actually put into place for broadband connectivity in KU band, NKA. And basically, we have been promoting the fact that LEO constellations are going to be high data rates, smaller terminals, smaller power required by the terminals to operate, and actually easy to deploy within rural areas and communities that actually do not have electricity. So we can use solar panels, for example. So we see that the non-GSO mega constellation will bring in the needed connectivity where today is very difficult to bring in with other means.
Okay, how your company sees the Indian market in the terms of opportunity and job generation and the business purpose?
So as I said earlier in the panel, jobs are created by the space economy in general. We bring connectivity where there is no connectivity today. That creates extra connectivity. That connectivity given by LEO constellations will create jobs. Basically new businesses or existing type of businesses for people that today have no capability of actually using telecoms, basically the usual infrastructure. So that increases the purchase power, that increases actually the revenues, that increases the economy for that community, but as a whole for India. So we bring in that kind of additional connectivity required. So very, very important for the economy and the job growth, because the economic growth will actually provide also job growth.
Okay, just last question, how do you see the Starlink entry in the Indian market?
How do I see it? I think it's great. We and Starlink and Amazon and other non-GSO players are important for the economy. As I said also in the presentation and in the panel, we need to bring in all the possible connectivity for the communities of India, countries like India in general, And as I said, there is room for all the players, including the GSO, not just non-GSO, but also the GSO.